Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Tina, also known as Bloomingknitter, and this is Knitting Blooms. Today is Thursday, the 11th of December. This episode will be posted on Saturday, December 13th, I think it is. And welcome. I currently have two cats on my lap. Sammy has been very needy the last couple of days. She's been spending a lot of time on my lap. And Cody has been trying to get on my lap, although Crystal is on my lap right now. Although, let's see, Cody is walking this way. It's been one of those weeks. Let's start with work. Work has been very busy. We hired a new receptionist this week, so a lot of my time has been spent training her and setting up her computer and all of that stuff. So work has been extremely busy this week. So I have had no time to knit at work. Even during lunch, I've been, just trying to get caught up. So, and at night, there hasn't been much knitting going on either. I'm going to show you one project today and only one project because I think I've only worked on two projects this week, and actually I think I did work on my socks too, but not that much. But I did work on my knit swirl a bit and on my my roost yoke tee, and I'm going to show you the roost yoke tee today. But before I do that, I've got a couple things to kind of talk to you about. The first thing is I wanted to give you a diet and exercise update. As you know, over Thanksgiving weekend, I kind of ditched the whole THM plan, and I ate all kinds of bad stuff. I had turkey and stuffing. Well, turkey's not bad. I mean, turkey would have been fine on the THM. But I had gravy with flour in it, and stuffing that's all carbs, potatoes that's all carbs. I had pie. I had only planned on having that one day, or actually 2 days, but I had it every single day. And I was so nervous that I was going to gain weight. And on Monday after the weekend, I did weigh myself, and I was up about 2 pounds. But by Wednesday, after I had been back on my diet Monday and Tuesday, I was back down to the same weight that I was before, or approximately. I think I was 0.2 of a pound higher. But now I'm back to that weight, the previous weight that I was before. And I'm still kind of cheating a little bit. I have been eating more carbs than I really should. But my body has kind of felt like it has been needing it. Like, for instance, I think it was Monday I had some cream of wheat with a little bit of butter and some brown sugar. And I'm sure that's way over the carb limit for the diet. But the good news is that I started this plan in July. And I've lost now approximately 12 pounds. Maybe even a bit more than that. Maybe almost 13 or 14 pounds. But the thing about it is I haven't really been doing a lot of exercise since then. I've been very sporadic. I haven't been getting my 10 to 15,000 steps most days. There may been a week that I got 10,000 steps, but most of the time I haven't been. So I'm trying to get back on an exercise plan and really stick to it. My goal is to get back to running at least 5 miles a few times a week, probably 3 to 4 times a week, and then doing strength training at least 2 days a week. So, and I'm hoping that if I stick to the THM plan, then I will, okay, everybody's getting down, okay, then I will continue to lose. But I have kind of been plateaued for a couple of months now, since I think the end of September or beginning of October or so. So hopefully with the added exercise, that will change a little bit. And I am still doing my regular cheat on Sunday. I try to do like I have popcorn and stuff like that, things that I really enjoy but really do not fall in line with the plan at all. Now if I continue to maintain this plateau with how I'm eating now, after I start the exercise and get the exercise really going and continuing, then I might have to cut back on those Sunday cheats and some of the extra carbs that I'm eating. But anyway, I did want to tell you why I'm still sitting over here by my tree also. I figured though I had to move all the furniture in order to put the tree up. So in order for me to sit back over in front of my cabinets and have my lights where they're not going to glare on the glass, I'd have to move all the furniture again. And honestly, it was easier just to move this chair over here from across the room than it was to try and move the couch over here and all that. So until the Christmas tree comes down, I will be sitting here, which I probably will take the Christmas tree up the weekend after Christmas, but I might leave it up till the first weekend of July, or first weekend of July, first weekend of January. What else? My shawl today is the color Affection. And this shawl is very difficult to wear if you are very active. Like when I'm at work, I could never wear this shawl. If I'm just wearing it as a fashion statement and I'm not planning on doing a lot of work, it's fine. What I do is this is the middle section, and I just put that right in front, and I sweep this part over my shoulder and it just hangs down, and the other part is just hanging down here in front. And I make sure that, you know, it's kind of like a little capelet almost, with the extra pieces hanging down, and it works that way. So what else? Okay, so I had a question this week on YouTube. Oh, and by the way, I want to get back to again expressing where the best place to contact me is, and the best place to contact me is on Ravelry. So if you have a question, the best place to contact me is a PM on Ravelry. I try to check it a couple times a week. I can't always promise that I will get back to you right away, because if I have a bunch of PMs to check, I try and check the different locations at least once a week, because I have the websites, I have YouTube, I have Ravelry, all of that. So, but the best places are either Ravelry or on YouTube, because I get those comments from YouTube get emailed to me. So I'll see them in email, and I'm like, okay, I'll have to get back over there to answer them. Now, I usually have to go over to YouTube to answer them, but I'm usually in YouTube quite often, and the same with Ravelry. Now, I do check my emails too, but usually I'm flipping through them on my phone just quickly to see if there's anything extremely important. Sometimes I'll click on them and just read them, but it's not easy to respond to emails on my phone. So I don't typically respond. Okay, now Cody's going to come and sit on my lap. So I don't typically respond to emails from my phone. I wait until I go onto my computer, but then sometimes I forget to check the emails on my computer. So if you're trying to get in touch with me, the best place to do that is either on Ravelry or on YouTube. Okay? But I did have a question from Patricia on YouTube, and her question was, what is your technique of getting measurements and the manner you use when you are knitting for outside the home friends and acquaintances? And this question is for socks. So I always like to be surprised for whatever gifts I get, whether it's birthday or Christmas or just out of the blue gifts. I like to be surprised, so I like to surprise other people as well. And it's really hard to do that if you're calling them up and saying, "Hey, I need your foot size so I can knit you some socks." So what I do is, first of all, when I start knitting for somebody in particular, I usually knit things that don't require measurements, like dishcloths or scarves or hats or shawls or whatever. But eventually you get to the point where you either have exhausted those possibilities, or you just want to knit a person something else. So what I try to do is I try to somehow work the discussion in. Like if they're asking me about my knitting or something like that, I might try to somehow get their shoe size or something during just general conversation. But if I can't get the information that I require in general conversation, what I usually do is I will just give them like a whole list of measurements. So they have to measure from top to bottom. So I think I have a schematic, and I think I got it from the Yarn Council of America or something like that. And it tells you where to measure the different things, like the chest, the arms, the back, you know, that sort of thing. So I just give them the entire thing and say, "Here, I need these measurements." So I could knit them a sweater, I could knit them socks, I could knit them a hat, I could knit them absolutely anything. And they wouldn't really know what I'm knitting them, but they probably will know that I'm knitting them something. So that's what I typically do. And then I have those measurements on hand. Now, it's harder for kids and stuff like that because kids are constantly growing. But most adults are about the same size unless they're gaining weight in their bellies. But most adults stay about the same size. Their foot size usually doesn't change once they're fully grown. So once you get the measurement once, you'll have it for life. And even if you have to ask your friend or your family for measurements, you don't have to tell them what you're going to knit for them or what color or what yarn. So in the end, they will still be surprised with whatever it is that you knit them because they won't know what materials you're going to be using. So that's just the way I do it. I would love to hear how you guys get the measurements. If you are covert when you try and get the measurements, or if you just ask them straight out, I would be interested to know. And I'm sure Patricia, if you're putting comments, you know, in YouTube or on the Ravelry forum, I'm sure Patricia would love to hear your comments as well. So if you want to post to this video on YouTube or the video on the Ravelry forum where I have this video posted, I would love to hear how you go about getting your measurements and whether or not you are covert about it or if you just come right out and ask for the information. Before I get to my one and only project today, I did want to tell you that I have done some spinning this week. That is the one thing that I have worked on that I'm not going to show you because really it's on the bob and you can't really see how much I've done or whatever. But I have done some spinning this week. I did some spinning during VKN last Sunday, which, by the way, Sunday time frame really seemed to be a good time to do a VKN. We had a lot of people. I don't think we ever got to 10 people in the chat room, but we did have people popping in and popping out, and I think we averaged around 7 or 8 people at any given time. So that was great, and thank you all who joined in on Sunday for the VKN. I had a fabulous time, and I look forward to the next one, and I believe the next one is next week. But honestly, let me see if I can. Oh, so now my iPad's gonna freeze up here. Hang on. Let me see if I can jump over to Ravelry and see what the list is, because I don't remember. But I don't think it's this week because I believe it's every other week that we're doing VKNs. So let me just see if I can get over there really quick. It's really slow right now. Okay, VKN. And I did also find out that you can reuse the same link. So I will always keep the main link to the VKN at the top of the VKN thread. So if the VKN starts at, say, 7 o'clock or whatever, and you get over there and there's this no new message at the bottom, you can always click the link at the top and start the VKN yourself. So the next VKN will be on December 19th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, December 19th. So that's next Friday. So, yeah, so I hope you will join us on Friday, December 19th from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, the link is going to be at the top, and I have it posted there now. And you can always just, if you want to check it out sometime in between now and then, all you have to do is click the link. And then if you've never been into the Google Hangouts before, you might have to go through a process of signing in and downloading anything that you need. But at least you can try it out and see how it goes. There won't be anybody in the group at that time other than for the regular VKNs, but at least it gives you an opportunity to jump in there and check your settings and be able to kind of feel your way around without the pressure of having people watch what you're doing. Because I know that's not a good feeling. So go ahead and try it out between now and then, and hopefully you can join in on December 19th. So let's see if I can get back to my notes. So I have done a bit of spinning this week. Not a ton of spinning, but I did spin for a good hour or so during VKN. I haven't been spinning that much at all, so an hour of spinning, after about an hour I needed to stop. It was too long to be spinning when I haven't been spinning. It's kind of like exercise. Like, you can't just go from 0 to 50. It's hard to do that and ramp up like that, which reminds me about the exercise. I've started running again, but I'm only running for 5 minutes at a time. I mean, last year or the year before I was running 8 miles, and now I can barely run for 5 minutes. But I'll build back up to it. It'll happen. What else? The Knit Your Stash. We're still doing Knit Your Stash. I will probably do a Knit Your Stash drawing either next week or the following week. I'll have to see what the schedule is and when the last time it was that I made a drawing. I haven't done any more tutorials, but I do have a few that I'd like to get done and posted, but with the holidays and everything, I just don't know if that's going to happen just yet, so we'll see. So let's get on to my my knitting for today. And like I said, I'm only going to show you the one item, and I probably wouldn't even need to show you that, but remember last week when I told you that I kept my notes and it would help if I read my notes when I was telling you about the knit swirl? Well, I didn't read my notes about the roast yolk tea. Which is why I'm showing it to you today, because I totally forgot what I wanted to show you last week. But I have made an enormous amount of progress on it since last week. Last week, I was right there where the marker is. So that's where I was, and now I've done that much more, and I can see on the camera that I can see a little bit of striping, which is odd because I'm actually alternating every single row, and that's what I want to tell you. I'm hoping I'll be able to show you. Okay, so let me show this up close to the camera. So at the top, when I was first starting after the arm, okay, so here's where I cast on the stitches for the arm, and you see this section right here that looks kind of wonky. It's not real neat. Well, in that section, I was alternating skeins every other row. So I was knitting, basically knitting 2 rows and then changing the yarn. But then down here, you see how much neater this is? That's when I started changing every row. So that's a big, big difference from this wonkiness up here to that down there. And I will show you also the inside. So this is when I was changing every other row. And you see this nice little line? That's where I'm changing every row. I'm hoping that that's coming through on the camera. It's hard for me to really see because I'm looking at such a tiny little thing. Oh, and by the way, you might notice my very cool pink and green nail wraps that I got from Jamberry. One of my friends is a Jamberry consultant, and she did some custom designs for me. And since these custom designs, since she did them, Jamberry has actually started allowing customers to do custom designs. And boy, let me tell you, I have been having so much fun. Next week or the following week, sometime soon, you're going to see Sims on my fingers. Because I made some custom Jamberry wraps with Sims and my Sim self to go on my thumb. And I also did some custom wraps with the Knitting Blooms logo, without the Knitting Blooms, just the yarn and the needles kind of thing. So you're going to be seeing those at some point in the future. And I can always order them for other people as well. If you want some Sims, or you probably don't want my Sim self, but I can make you some regular Sims. Or if you want Knitting Blooms nail wraps. Who knows? Maybe you do. But I've also been designing a whole bunch of other ones too. I think it was last night. I was just kind of, I wasn't really doing much. I think it was last night. No, it was 2 nights ago. I wasn't really feeling like playing Sims or anything, and I just was kind of messing around with it. And I think I did like 6 or 8 new designs. So I've been having a lot of fun. It made me start to think, do I want to become a Jamberry consultant? And I don't think I do. I don't think I want to become a Jamberry consultant, but I think I'm probably going to have a Jamberry party at some point. And if anybody is ever interested in ordering any of my custom designs, if you see them on the podcast, you can let me know and I can order them for you. But yeah, that's it. I have gotten so much done on this sweater. Oh, and by the way, one of the girls in Knit Club has a Roost yoke tee in almost exactly same color. She wore it to club on Saturday, and she walked in, and I kind of like did a double take, and I'm like, hey, that's my sweater. It was almost the same color. Hers was, I think it was Barocco vintage, but it was almost the same color. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's all I have for you. It's a really short show this week because I don't have anything. I'm just kind of jabbering away. But I think I'm almost done with the, I'm doing increases now. I finished the decreases, and I don't know how many increases I have to do. I think I have to do like 6 increases. I'm not real sure. I think there was something else that I was going to tell you too. I don't know. I'll think about it, and then I'll put it in my notes, and then I'll forget it next week. I almost forgot about Patricia's question, but it was a good thing that I put it in my notes right as soon as she asked me, because I would have forgotten about it. Because I did answer her on Yahoo, or not Yahoo, YouTube, but I thought I would go ahead and answer here as well. So anyway, so when I change my my color, what I'm doing, I'm going to try and show you a little bit. So I have, oopsie, no. So I have my old color here, and what I do is I take it and I lay it over top of the one that I'm picking up from below. and then I kind of make sure I snug up that stitch that's below, but not too much. I don't want to make it too tight. And then I start knitting with the new color. Well, it's not really a new color, it's just the new yarn. And that's how I get that nice kind of thing that carry up the side here. Anyway, so that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you guys have a great week. It's almost the weekend. I'm so happy about that. I don't have anything specific planned for this weekend. So hopefully it's just going to be relaxing. Maybe I will get my button gear and put that last dresser together, which still is not put together yet. So maybe I'll do that. I believe that Steve wants to go and see the Hunger Games. I think it's the first part of the Mockingjay. So we might get around to doing that. We were supposed to do that last weekend too, and he forgot to remind me on Sunday. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. If you need to contact me, you can always contact me on Ravelry or YouTube. You can contact me in email too, but honestly, I would prefer Ravelry or YouTube. It'll make it easier for me to try and keep it in one place. I will eventually get back to everybody in all the places, but I'm trying to keep them centralized, at least in 2 places. But that's all I've got. So I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.
As always, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Please feel free to contact me with your comments or suggestions, as I am always trying to improve the show. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube as Bloomingknitter. You can also find me on Plurk, Twitter, and Pinterest as Bloomingknitter, but I don't frequent those sites as often. I post show updates on Twitter and Facebook, and sometimes to Google+ and Plurk. I am Miss Aerobics on MyFitnessPal and Fitbit. You can always find all the old episodes as well as links to the tutorials on the blog at www.knittingblooms.com. And you can also follow the show on Facebook. You can email me at knittingblooms@gmail.com, and show notes can be found at knittingblooms.com.